Hi everybody, I'm Anthony from comicseatingup.net. I'm back with Terry Hockness from hocknesscomics.com. We're doing our weekly spec video where we pick the ones that we think are going to be the winners of the week. Normally the way I rank mine, it's basically off buzz. Are these buzzworthy books? Are people talking about them? Are people looking at them? How did they rank with orders? Print run is a big deal. I know people get sick of hearing print run, but supply and demand is based on how many copies will be out there, how many copies are being ordered. So, if you have a book that's hot and everybody's talking about it and wants to buy it, but there's a million copies of it, it's not going to go anywhere. But if you've got something that people are talking about, it's going to be hard to find. That's going to be a book you want to latch on to. So, Terry, before we get into our picks, do you want to give us a rundown on how you do yours?
All right, thanks, Anthony. Well, as you know, every week I take all the new releases and all potential picks, and I actually rank them on my website, hocknesscomics.com. And I rate them out of a 10, and 10 means I really think that that's a guaranteed 100% shot it's going to go up in price. This week I don't really find that there's any extreme guaranteed winners, but I will focus on a few of my picks here. So you'll see here how I've ranked them. My 1 week picks, my 6 month pick, and my long-term picks. Overall, the safest bet seems to be Walking Dead 164 is out with 2 different covers this week. Generally speaking, they all sell out. Walking Dead stays popular. Back issues are always popular. Probably not a huge growth in price unless this lands up being an important first appearance, which we won't know that yet.
I also had Walking Dead number 164 as one of my picks. Walking Dead you can't go wrong with, all the reasons Terry just said. 164 is a definite pickup for me.
Also on my list this week, God Country number 1, the second printing, and God Country number 2, the first printing, both from Image Comics. This has been a really big hot buzz book the past month. Number 2s are always printed less than number 1s, so I expect that if number 1s had a big jump, number 2 has a definite shot at this. So this would be one of my thumbs up picks for the week.
I've got God Country number 1 second print on my list as well as number 2. I'll get back to the variant covers on this in a minute.
Also, DC releases Super Sons number 1, and this is going to have a really big print run, so it might not have a chance, but this is kind of a long-term pick for me. That there's been a lot of buzz for this, and so I think give it some time. People might want to be building runs of this, and this could land up being popular in the long run.
Super Sons number 1's definitely a thumbs up for me as well. There's a lot of buzz on this one. There's been a lot of buzz on it for a while. Yes, it's going to have a big print run, but it's going to be divided out amongst a couple of different covers. Go with cover A. It's going to be the one to get in the long run. Definitely see this one being a growing book, not an initial hot, flip overnight. But I can definitely see this being one that grows in value over time.
Also, a bit more of long shots with the indie books. Reich number 1 is the first issue of a 12-issue miniseries from Alternative Comics. Print run's going to be super small on this one. If it gets any buzz and long-term interest, this could heat up because there won't be any copies anywhere.
Reich number 1 is a thumbs down for me. I'm going to pass on it. Yes, it's going to have a small print run, but that supply and demand thing, I don't see a huge buzz for it. It could be an excellent read, and it could also be one of those books that surprises you, but the company as a whole hasn't had a lot of spec buzz or spec hits, so I'm going to go ahead and give it a thumbs down. My next pick, however, is WWE number 2 Title Belt Foil Party variant. If you can find one of these 1 per store variants, grab it, flip it. I did extremely well with the number 1. I expect people are going to want the championship belt for this one as well. So, WWE fans, comic book fans, they do kind of go hand in hand. So I can see a good demand on this one, and it's going to be a good initial flip, especially if you can get it for a cheap price. I got the number 1 for cover price, so like I said, I did extremely well with it.
And also, Cerebus in Hell number 1. We've already had a number 0 issue. But Aardvark gives us the number 1 of the new ongoing series. So again, could be a long-term pick, just if the print run is small enough.
Cerebus in Hell number 1 is a thumbs down for me. There's a ton of Cerebus fans out there, and we're talking about a lot of long-term comic book readers who are definitely going to be interested in this. Because I think there's going to be enough people ordering this book, and the fans of the book have already gotten in. Their orders are going to, be picking them up in the store, that I'm not going to see a lot of buzz on it. However, this could be a growth book that, something that people can hold on to for a while and see some good returns in the future. But initial heat, I don't expect on this one.
Anything else coming out this week, I'm not going to rank too high, just because I believe retailers will have ordered enough, And I just, unless, of course, there's a surprise first appearance or something, I don't see any other books this week really having a chance. I'm sure there'll be a surprise out there, though. So maybe Anthony's got some views on some other surprises he thinks could happen.
Image Month tribute covers for God Country, Kill or Be Killed, Invincible, and Manifest Destiny. These are more of the classic Image covers. You've got a Walking Dead, a Chew, and some other, more iconic cover tributes for these books. So if you see them, grab them, especially if you're a reader of the series. Grab your regular cover, which you would normally buy, and grab one of these as well. I'm not expecting these to be huge returns, but these could be one of those things that completists and other people, and variant cover buyers might want to buy down the road. One book I do want to spotlight this week is Rift number 2. Rift number 1 came out about a month ago, and it was a really good read. It's kind of a tried and true concept of a traveler coming through time, forward in time, going through a rift, and being discovered by people in the present, and they're trying to get him back to the past. It's not something that we haven't seen before. Like I said, it is a tried and true formula. However, it was extremely well written, and it was the art was really good. At the back of the book, and this is why I want to give it a special shout out, they had a little postcard in it that said, if you could contact one person from the dead to write them a letter, what would you say and who would you contact? So I went ahead and fired them off a quick email and said, I would like to write a letter to my dad and say, here's how the family has changed since you've passed away. They really liked my letter, and I had mentioned my son. Joe is one of my best friends who's in a lot of my unboxing videos. So, they asked me to send in a picture of him playing baseball, and I did. So they're printing the letter and the photo of my son Joe in Rift number 2. So I definitely want to give the guys a shout out. Like I said, it's a great book. It's a good read, good art. And the fact that they're printing one of my letters and a picture of my son in it, I'm going to give this one a 2 thumbs up. So anyway, thanks again for watching. We really appreciate the support. Let's see some comments in the comment section or down below on YouTube. Again, we really appreciate you guys checking out these videos each week.